Hi all, so welcome to this channel, and in this video session I'll discuss multiple event triggers uh, case. So where my SQL trigger have the multiple events occur like insert, update or delete. So yes, of course, we can create a single trigger program which will handle or which would handle all the operations or the events, that is insert, update or delete on any particular table. So we do not need to create separate triggers for each event like insert, update or delete. So we can create a one trigger for every operation or every event, and that will take care of each operation, that is insert, update or delete. So let's see the demo in IBM DB2. So here you can see this SQL trigger program, so where I'm creating or replacing a trigger named multiple event underscore student. So we can either use create or replace both. So if any object exists of this trigger, then that will be replaced, or if not exist, then that will be created. So this is the long name of the trigger. We can specify the specific keyword here which will provide us a unique name for the trigger, and that also object name also that is under within the limit of 10 characters. So here we are not specifying that, so the system will take care of that thing, and it will create a unique name for my trigger program. Now this is an after trigger, so I'm applying insert, delete or update. So you can see I can apply different multiple events on a single trigger program by using the or keyword. So after insert or delete or update, so this can be achieved using this or keyword. We can apply a trigger upon different events. Now on update trigger, we can see that we are still able to achieve the column level granularity. That is, the update trigger will only get activated or invoked when the column named college of this physical file or table trgpf1 gets changed. So in case if any other column gets changed of this physical file, then the update trigger won't get fired, invoked or activated. So this way we can achieve this functionality of having multiple event in a single trigger program. Now you can see I am using the referencing clause to reference the new and the old column values by using new row as new correlation, giving that a correlation new, and old row as giving that a old correlation as old. You can specify any name here, either n or o or anything else if you want. So we can now access the column values using new dot then column name or old dot column name. So this trigger is for each row. So on each row this trigger will get fired, and the mode is DB2 row. So on every row it gets fired basically. So in case if it was DB2 SQL, then it would get fired at the last. Now you can see I have used the begin atomic clause. So in case if we have used the commitment control, then it assumes that all the things or all the queries would get executed successfully. So in case if there are multiple queries inside this, then that were executed successfully. If any one of them gets failed, everything would be rolled back, or even if anything failed here, then that would be rolled back. So this way you can see we can use the begin atomic clause here, and this is the end for begin atomic. So if you want, we should specify begin atomic. If you want, we do not. so we can only specify begin or end if we are not taking care of the or implementing the commitment control thing. Now you can see I am using the predicates like inserting, deleting or updating. So using these predicates we can check whether insert trigger gets fired or a delete trigger gets fired or a update trigger gets fired. So when a new record or new row gets inserted into this table, a insert uh, trigger gets fired. If up delete happened, then delete trigger gets fired, and if an update happened, and only when the college column of that row gets changed, then only this trigger gets fired, because we have used update of college on trgpf1. We are specifying the trigger on column, so we are basically applying column level trigger here, that is on college. So this way you can see I'm also checking whether if it is updating, and also checking if new.college is not equal to old.college. So yes, of course, if I would say that if these conditions gets happened, then only these actions gets performed. So whatever action gets performed only when the conditions gets occurred, that is either insert trigger gets fired or delete trigger gets fired or an update trigger gets fired, and they are within the condition if and end if. So I'm using the predicates with the if conditions, so you can do the same thing at your end like this. And now just create the trigger program, run sql stm sql trigger, give the library name, and here comes the trigger 7. Commitment control I'm not using for now. Just set the debug view as star source so that we could be able to debug this. Let's check. Trigger, not trigger 7. So we have created the trigger program out of this trigger source, so we must have the name started with well star. Let's see. So this was the trigger program which gets created of 10 characters, and this is unique in this schema. So let's this debug this one. Just set the breakpoint at line number 1 and then go to STSQL. Now the first thing to verify is insert. So let's select star from trgpf1. So these are the records, these are 2 records in this file, and here you can see the count is 0 in trgpf2. So let's insert a record into this trgpf1 on which we applied the triggers. So let's roll number is 10, name is name 10, college name is CLG10. Just press enter. So once I press enter, you can see the trigger program gets fired. So we have applied the after trigger, so we must have value gets inserted or the row gets inserted into this table. So you can see the row gets inserted. So once this row gets inserted, after that the trigger program gets fired, or if we check this table we did not see any change in count. So now we come to the program. So here it would check for the predicates if inserting. So this is an insert trigger, so it would, this condition gets true, and if I took 10, so you can see it is executing the if condition, then update this table, set count equals to count plus 1. Now if I check the count in this table, so you can see count is now becomes 1 from 0, so it basically updated by 1 or incremented by 1. So this program now ends. Now again, let's say if I insert another record with this, so again the same thing happens. So we have inserted 2 records. Now we can see we have 2 records inserted. Now the total records are 4. In this table we have the count 2. Now just delete one of the record, delete from so I would be deleting from this table where roll no equals to, let's say 10, the first record we inserted. So once I press enter, we can see the trigger program gets fired. So it means this is an after delete, so the record would get deleted from this TRGPF1. So you can see the record roll number 10 gets deleted. We don't have that roll number now. After this condition won't get true, so it skips this. Now if this condition is true, so it comes to the delete, and it would actually decrement the count by 1. So current count is 2. So let's see now what it becomes. So current count is reduced to 1, and that record was obviously deleted. Now let's do the update this. So we have applied the trigger on this column, update trigger on this column. Only when this column gets updated, then only the trigger gets fired. So if I try to update the roll number, let's say roll number to 4, and where roll number is 11, so you can see the trigger won't get fired because we are updating the roll number which is other than the college column. Now roll number is 4, so let's say this time I'm updating name to name 4, where roll number is 4. So you can see the row gets updated, but still the trigger won't get fired. Now just update college CLG 4 for roll number 4. So you can see now the trigger gets updated because we are going to update the value of column field, college field, on which we applied the trigger, update trigger. So it checks where new.college is not equal to old.college, then only set the count or incremented the count by 1. Okay, we have another trigger applied on that. So you can see UPD 80 trigger is running on this. So actually if I go, I have created multiple trigger on this table, so they are getting updated. So this trigger is actually getting updated, fired, because I have already created this trigger where this was update student underscore college, so which is this one. So actually I have already uploaded the video on the same, where I'm invoking SQL trigger when any specific column gets changed. So that's what it is actually executing for now. Let's let it execute that now. The trigger program which we created, which is for multiple event, is getting executed because there are multiple triggers associated with that file. So if we check dspft trgpf1, so we'll get the trigger information. So you can see trigger multiple event is enabled on this, which is insult, after, and again multi 0002, update after, delete after. So same trigger is applied multiple times with the multiple events. Now let's just do F10. So this condition won't get true, this also won't get true. Now this time we are actually updating the column, so it would check if the column name is college column is different for new and old values. So it is different, so it would set the count to 0. So now if I check in this table, you can see the college name gets updated, and if I check this table, the count becomes 0. So that's what we are aiming to do. So let's try to execute this again. So this was the old trigger, let's ignore that. Now if we see again, now update is actually we are updating the value, but the new and old value are same. Even after we are updating the value to the same value, the trigger gets fired because we are updating the college value, whether it's same or if it's change or not change, it is old value, the trigger would get fired because at that instant system won't know that what value you are inserting or you are updating to the column on which the trigger is applied. So it is getting checked here if it's updating, and if new dot college is not equals to old dot college, then only we will set the count to, then we'll execute these actions whatever you have written here. So I am executing only one query, so you can run multiple actions on this or multiple statements here according to your requirement. So that's how the multiple event trigger works. And this is what the aim of this video is, to give you an insight of how you can create only one trigger program which handles the multiple events. So that's all in this video. Thank you and have a nice